and
Ooh,
knocking things over from the wind. You can edit that part out. When we come out of this, because the reality is we are going to make it through this, that we are ready to hit the ground running, that there is work on the horizon, and that we have taken the necessary steps to be able to push and drive forward as we need to for all of our humans and for us. So I own Legacy Entertainment Group, and that is a management company. We are not an agency. We're a management company, and some of the artists that we manage are artists such as Keone Madrid, Melvin TimTim, Bailey Sock, S-Rank, Trader Rego, Larkin Poynton, Laura Cortellamont, Shaun Evaristo. I don't have a list in front of me, and I don't want to forget.
There's a lot.
There are a lot. And we're really big on meeting people where they're at. I think that that's something special about who we are, because everybody's different. Your needs are going to be different than my needs. Where you are at in your journey, in your work, in your life as a human being, it's going to be a different place than where I'm at. So I can't expect you to relate or work or apply things the same way that I would. So why should I expect that from anybody else? I receive joy when I know I have done something that is promoted, elevated, supported, done something positive for somebody else. That brings me joy. So the fact that this could be a career for me, it's almost funny, because I feel like I'm really getting paid for something that has brought me joy since I was younger. And it's a lot of work. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's the easiest thing in the world. There's a lot of things that we do that aren't fun, and they're not pretty, and they're not easy, and they can be very stressful. But at the end of the day, our focus and our job is to be a buffer, is to remove the logistics off of the artist's plate so that they can do what they're supposed to do, which is create and share their passion, and making sure that they have a platform and the platform that they deserve in order to do that. The morning always starts with lists and emails. I love making lists. There is a lot to do, and with a lot of different people. Lists for me, they work great. They help me to tackle what I need to, when I need to do it. And email is one of the first things that I do when I get up, is I check my email, my WhatsApp, my WeChat. Usually those, not too much comes through Instagram. When it does, I do try and direct it to just try and streamline to email, or if it's international, WeChat or WhatsApp. Go through those, see what came in, make a list, check on things that are still outlying, and then tackle things that need to be done that day, look at what needs to be done for future. And a lot of times that includes things like, email, a lot of email, phone calls, conferences, Zoom meetings, follow-ups, negotiations, contract reviews, contract signing, making sure that any deliverables that we have that are due are taken care of, and checking in and following up. I try and start early, because you don't know what's going to come through during the day. Sometimes things that come through during the day trump everything on the list and need to go to the top right away. So the earlier I get that list done, the earlier we get started. And I actually have I've gone through a few of them now, but I actually have a book, and I'll put the date on the top of the page, and then boom, go down and do a to-do list. And I will actually physically cross it off. I'm very tactile, so that feels good to me. But I have the book, that way I can go back a couple days. And, you do see a trend. There might be a submission that's due in 2 weeks or in a week, but you keep it on that list so you can keep on top check on it. Do you need this? Do you need that? Was this handled? Was that handled? All the logistics that would go into that. And then I do, if it's something that I know has to be done that day, that's going to go to the top of the list. And then the other things I need to check in. Sometimes things don't happen. maybe I need to follow up with person X and they're unavailable. So then that's going to go to the next day. But I do try and get those things done first thing in the morning. I do work well early in the morning. So getting those things started, getting the ball rolling is very, very helpful, because things are going to come in. Things are going to come in that are going to take precedence. And sometimes they're time consuming. Sometimes they're brief. But the more you can get done earlier, you kind of be ready for that.
Gotcha.
I have a calendar for almost all of the artists on iCap. They each have their own color code. And
that must look very colorful.
So colorful. Let me tell you, summer is like a rainbow every day. I work out. I train a lot. Keone and Mari and I have the same trainer, and then I also train someone else at that facility. So Nia Pham is our trainer, and then Mike Garza is the trainer that I train the most with. And then we have our doctors, our recovery doctors. Recovery is a whole important aspect I think people are just now starting to see the value of. But we have our recovery doctors, Dr. Ben and Dr. Don from Kinetic Impact RP, that we work with, and they are an absolute lifeline for me. And probably one of the things that I'm missing the most by doing what's right and staying home is I miss training. When I'm at my best is when I can do my best for others. And that is honestly what made it okay for me to train, because I am so in love with humans and so in love with doing things for others. I will often do that before I take care of myself. But when I realized that me not doing my due diligence and taking care of myself wasn't allowing me to be the best version of myself, and then I was not able to be the best that I could be for everyone else, is really what made me stop, pull back. I don't want to say pull back, stop, find that pocket of time and go.
As someone who's going more into trying to build a brand and a business and a podcast and do more filmmaking, that doesn't always require me to be dancing and breaking. So I started to neglect that a lot more. But I also noticed that when I do take the time to exercise and to take care of my body and my mind, that is also when everything else thrives throughout my day.
Why training for me personally works so well, going to train with a personal trainer, is because I'm then accountable to them. I know that I'm taking care of me, but I'm accountable to them. So I have to show up at that time for those hours, at that schedule, and it becomes a part of my routine. When I'm home, it's so much easier for me to say, oh, well, so-and-so needs this. Let me go ahead and do this email real quickly. I'm going to work out in a half an hour. Oh, this came in. Let me take care of this. But when I physically have committed to going somewhere else and there's somebody else, I don't want to let them down. So I'm not going to cancel.
Are there qualities or things that you see that your legacy and you align with, that all of your talent has, that you feel like is pretty common, or not common, but let's say common, to share between everybody?
While everybody is so different, there's one underlying thread that is the same between all of them, and it's authenticity. It's them really just being who they are. It's not, and I think that that's something that's a quality that each of us has, but when you can just be your true authentic self, and what you create is really just a representation of who you are, how you feel, how you see, how you interpret. Since we're talking about dance, the music, the movement, that's why these people are so good. They're so good because they're their true selves. Keone and Mari are so different from Melvin, who's so different from Davin, who's so different from Trey, but they are their own authentic selves. And people that look up to whoever, it's because they have a uniqueness. It's not because, oh, this person does a really good job of copying this person, so I should copy them, copying him, and then what happens? I mean, think of a tea bag. you make a cup of tea, you steep that tea bag. If you use that same tea bag to go make 10 more cups of tea, you're going to end up with water, an incredibly watered down version of what you wanted in the first place. So if we all just tap into what our unique God-given qualities are and be the best versions of ourselves, that's where we're going to be successful, because you have a gift that I don't have. So me trying to copy or emulate your gift isn't going to be the best use of my skills and my talents. And I think that, when we were talking about things we were going to cover, or, questions that people might ask, or there really was a crossover between two things that you said is, why are these people so good? And then how can other people grow who they are? These people are so good because they genuinely are who they are. From who they align with, to the companies and brands that they work with, to the music that they dance to what they create, it's genuine and it's authentic and it's truly a part of who they are. And that's why you look up to Keone Madrid, and that's why somebody looks up to the way Melvin dances, and pick somebody who you look up to. And when you get that person in your mind, do you look up to them because they are a carbon copy of somebody else that you respect? Or do you look up to them because there's something that they have that is unique and special? And that's what draws you to them. So all of these upcoming aspiring artists and talents, if they will look in while still respecting what they see when they look out, but they look in and tap into their unique gifts and talents, and then pull that out and grow that, that's when they're going to be successful. And that's when they're going to be the best versions of themselves. And even with how I handle all of our humans, I know that I love people. I know that I love good people. I know that I love supporting people. And that is what God put me on this earth to do.